Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time
arrived.
to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time to
arrived.
demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio.
It's time.
First
It's
Contact
time.
Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Glad you could be here today. Today is the Friday edition, so we've made it to the end of another week. Let's see what we have in store for us today. All right, today's the 7th of February. So we know that Aquarius is our sun sign. So as our sun sign, Aquarius is an air sign. So air, words and actions. And we think about Aquarius, which was the time when people were saying this new futuristic time, this moment in the future, this vision that we had. So that implies some of the idea of what Aquarius is about, thinking ahead to that futuristic time. But also within that, if you think about that, sometimes daydreaming can be caught up in that thing. So you want to make sure you're looking ahead with a plan, but not just daydreaming, idly. That's not going to go anywhere. You want to find that balance within there. Meditation is one of the keys that is associated with the idea of Aquarius, so that you can go into that mind space, go into that calm place to find that balance of how to use those words and actions in the best ways, so that you can find the way in which to look to the future while at the same time using the past to understand how to move forward with that energy. So that's the whole idea with the Aquarian energy. And then today our moon sign, you can see right here, is making a transition from one to the next. We've been in Taurus, which is an earth sign, and now we're going to go into Gemini, which is an air sign. And that transition takes place, this is Pacific time, at 12:44 p.m. And that's when we make that transition into the next moon sign. And Gemini is an air sign. So air, words and actions, communication. So today is a lot of wind going to be happening, a lot of communication, an opportunity for good communication that takes place when Gemini is around. However, there is one thing to pay attention to. Mercury has just gone into retrograde yesterday. And we know about Mercury retrogrades. They are periods of time when it appears that Mercury is going backwards. It really isn't, but it appears that it is. And during that time phase, the idea retrograde means go back a grade. Redo something that you've been doing. Use retrograde as a time to look over work you've been doing, polish up whatever it is you've been working on, make it better, keep looking at it, okay? Go over the details. It's a time where, because Mercury, which is the planet of communication, because it is appearing to go backwards, just think of that idea. Communication is appearing to go backwards, though it really isn't. So if there's communication is appearing to go backwards, then we need to pay attention to the things that we're saying. Take a little extra time to think before we speak, so that when we communicate with others during this time when communication seems to be going backwards, we can do so without a lot of confusion. And a lot of times we say, well, it's not ourselves. I'm very clear and focused, and that may be. But you have to think about the other person, because there's a lot of people that are out there that are just going through the day and not understanding anything about the Mercury retrogrades or the energies around them. They're just being bounced around, and so it's for all of those reasons that others might misunderstand that you want to take that extra moment during these phases just to really look at what you're doing. And then, of course, a rule of thumb during Mercury retrogrades, it's really not a time when you start a new project or a time when you really want to sign any contracts, things of that nature. Just kind of some general rules of thumb. So we're in this phase for the rest of this month. So use this time, the next couple weeks, to go over anything you've been doing in the past, any work you've been doing, look it over, cross the I's, dot the T's, make sure it's all double checked, and just use this time to research, prepare, and get everything ready so that when Mercury goes back direct, you're ready to resume the next level of business. So this is a good time for doing that research work, okay? So that's Mercury retrograde. That's where we're at. We've got the air, the Mercury communication, and then later this evening we have a couple of lessons, a couple of squares we need to be aware of. One is between Mercury right here and the moon, so communication and the moon. So now this Mercury, which is the planet that directly affects Gemini, it is in a square with the moon, which is in Gemini. So there's some sort of communication lesson, I would say, that would be at hand later. Something dealing with communication when that Gemini and the Mercury, those two things that are supposed to work well together, are kind of in square with each other. And then a little bit later after that, Neptune gives us another lesson where it's saying now we need to look at things from another perspective. So later this evening, 7 to 9:30 p.m. is when this aspect's going to be going on. So later this evening, see what these lessons are in your life. And then, of course, over the weekend, we have the Gemini moon. And it'll be like that Sunday. And then when we get back Monday, we're going to make a transition to Cancer. Okay? That's where we are at the moment. So, moving on. Let's see if there's anything here we need to be aware of sky-wise. This season, Jupiter turns the winter triangle into a bigger, brighter winter diamond. The diamond bottom is Sirius. The two side corners are Betelgeuse and Procyon, and Jupiter forms its top. It tilts leftward in the early evening and then stands vertically in the south about 9 p.m. depending on your location, east or west in the time zone. All right. So this is what we're seeing in the sky an hour after sunset. Right here today. So there you have that. The moon phase for today, 59% of the way full, making our way up to the full moon. Mayan Oracle, we're at a 9-tone day, which is called the solar tone of intention. The kin for today is the sun, which is all about enlightenment. So today would be the intention of enlightenment, guided by the intelligence of the warrior, which asks questions. So the intention of intelligence, guided by our questions. And we have like-minded energy is how we get the energy that we gathered to us, getting ready to use it in the world. Whereas our challenge today is loyalty, love, the heart. And the hidden power is our ability to birth ourselves, kind of allow ourselves to be reborn. We see where we are here on the wave spell. Okay, so we're here. And over the course of the weekend, we're going to be going from the sun to the dragon to the wind. Monday we'll be back with the night, so we'll still be in this wave spell. So the late wave spell is about free will. That's the lesson we're learning and working on this particular time. The phrase for this whole pattern here today is I pulse in order to enlighten, realizing life. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the solar tone of intention. I am guided by the power of intelligence. Over at space weather, solar wind is currently at 309.2 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is quiet at the moment. You see our coronal hole facing the Earth, and so notice that we will be getting some solar wind reaching Earth between the 8th and the 10th, which is this weekend. M-class flares have dropped down to 60%. It was 80 yesterday, and now we're down to 20 from 25 with X-class. So things are dropping down, and geomagnetic storm activity is going down as well. And we do have notice here of weekend solar warnings. Solar warnings just mean that there's a lot of electricity, a lot of energy in the air coming from the sun, from the energy all around us outside. So sometimes those things can affect the electronics. Maybe your telephone might be a little bit staticky. Maybe your computer, your TV might have a little snow at times. But it usually comes and goes and clears up really quick, so nothing to worry about. But that's how you can tell when something's going on, just by listening to the way that your technological devices interact with the energy around us. And then, of course, our numerology for today. Today's number 7. So we have some synchronicity today. The day is the 7th, and the numerology is the 7. Here's what we have. 2 February, 7 the day, that equals 9. And then we know the year, 2014 is a 7. So we add the 7 and the 9 together, that gives us 16, and the 1 plus the 6 equals 7. That's our numerology number for today. So 7. So 7 isn't just a lucky number, it's also spiritual, intelligent, analytical, focused, introspective, serious, intuitive, knowledgeable, contemplative, serious, persevering, refined, gracious, and displays much inner wisdom. 7s can be aloof, distant, sarcastic, socially awkward, melancholic, cowardly, and when they're at their worst, backstabbers. It's associated with the tarot card of the Chariot and with the astrological sign of Cancer. And the Chariot is very important because the Chariot is the spiritual warrior that is going out in the world. So let me show you what this looks like here. This is the Chariot. It's card number 7. Okay, you see, have a character who's wearing a suit of armor, who's standing in a chariot being guided by 2 Sphinx that are black and white, the opposites. Sphinx represent the riddle of life. Black and white represent the opposites. The only way to move along the path of life with the opposites and all that's in the riddles of life is you have to allow yourself to be driven and allow spirit to guide you. So what you have here is spirit is flowing through this man. This man is inside this armor, which is protecting him from all of the emotions of the world, so he can go out and be a warrior in the world. Okay, this is 7, the spiritual warrior. We also saw today that on the dream spell, we have the warrior as the guide, so some other synchronicity, because here we have the warrior representing the 7. Then we have the synchronicity of the warrior. We learned that the warrior asks questions. All right, so that's it. UFO news is up next. Stay tuned.
This is the UFO news. Show up.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. So let's move on over here. I'm doing a few little Mercury retrograde challenges myself. This should get us there, hopefully. Alright, let me jump away for a moment while I fix this. But wait, here we go. Okay. Just taking a little bit of time, that's all. Actually, it's taking a lot of time. Okay, it's first one here. It says Argentina took away the jellyfish from the Monte Hermoso Bay, Argentina, January 2014. Alright, the video recorded by Leandro Militi shows a UFO emerging from the water on January 14th, which has received around 400,000 views and has become the talk of the town, particularly when the perspective of the mayor of this community is thrown into the mix. In the article appearing in the Diario 3 newspaper, Marcos Ferdinand insinuated that Marcos Ferdinand insinuated that the identified flying object took away the bothersome jellyfish from the coastline of Hermoso, Monte Hermoso. An essential fact to Monte Hermoso is that we are witnessing a significant natural fact. So let's take a look at this. This is what we have here. It says, however, the official remains skeptical about the sighting and question the possibility of UFO involvement. Alright, so Video itself, 6 minutes and 20 seconds. This is something for you to check out and see. Okay. Very interesting indeed. Alright, let's move from there to the next one. This next one here says glowing UFO follows the space station. So they definitely get activity up there. Seems like it's more activity all the time. There's our UFO in question. Guys, I recorded this one myself, and I had a WTF expression on my face the whole time. Here's what I noticed. The camera suddenly changed from a black night side of ISS to a partly lit camera. Then the ISS cam to see it and focuses on the object for about 6 minutes until it suddenly changes camera back to the dark side. We could not see the UFO anymore. The UFO was most visible when the light hit it at a certain moment and made everything clear, but because of its distance, it's still hard to make out its shape. The UFO seemed to flash at times with a change in its color, much like the description of UFOs seen around the world. There you go, some screenshots. One more thing that people will overlook, there are just many screen glitches where the video is lost, but I believe it is just the aliens communicating with us or trying to with the ISS. UFO have been known to cause electrical disturbances. Okay, here we have some video of that. And we've got a 7-minute video because he showed it there for 6 minutes. And just 10 seconds in is where something starts to get a little bit interesting. And there's the image out there, and look what we have. Dun, da, da, da. Okay, so up by the ISS. Alright, I'll leave the video for you so you can check it out. It's there for 6 minutes. Moving on. This next piece is triangular UFO hovering above San Antonio. A UFO drone was captured traveling over San Antonio, Texas. As it changes light configuration in mid-flight, the U.S. government has approved several states for drones testing, authorizing where unmanned craft can be tested for a variety of uses. It says, while sky watching, I noticed this craft coming in my direction. I grabbed my camera. At first, the light can be observed over the top of the trees. It slowly travels in my direction. At some point, it turns its lights on, freaking me out like it notices me. Short time over, I began to change its light configuration. In mid-flight, I was able to capture a few seconds as the red pulsing light goes around another light in mid-flight. Okay, so here's the captures here. Did not notice this until later analyzing the video. The craft continued to travel behind some trees, tops, and out of sight. So, there we go. Pretty good images. Alright, so that's what's over San Antonio. So what do you think that is? Don't know, but it's certainly a good shot. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Next we're going to go to, it says witness said UFOs were emanating energy and moving intelligently. 3 white and 1 single red spots of light appear over an estate of Enchiladas area of Southern California, U.S. Studying the objects, they appear to be emitting their own source of energy and have a weird flight pattern, moving back and forth in an intelligent manner, all the while being recorded from a distance, which can be seen midway through the video when the witness zooms out and shows the objects over the houses facing him. So what are they, says the witness? You decide. Alright, and for those of you who wonder where Enchiladas is, down by San Diego County. It's a 3-minute, 22-second video. Very good sighting. And this is out there close to the military base. So is it possible that this is something from the military base, or there because of the base? Possibly. Okay, let's go to the next story. Now what we have here is over Sugarcreek Village, Canada. Interesting video footage of multiple UFOs recorded in the night sky above Sugarcreek Village, Ontario, Canada, the 2nd of February. This is what I saw from the parking lot of Sugarcreek Village. I guess I'm one of those people now. I whipped out my phone and recorded as best as I could under these circumstances. There were approximately 6 to 8 orange lights that seemed to hang in the air, but they still moved around each other. I'm a pilot, so I opened ForeFlight and called London Tower. Nada on radar. Okay. Very interesting indeed. Let's move on to the next story. Here we have above Midlothian, Scotland. This took place also on the 4th. You can get a lot of good shots from Midlothian. And this one, as you can see, has a filter on it. Get a good look at things. Alright, so let's see what we can find here. There we go, right smack dab in the middle. You see it moving? It's moving from here, it's moving up that way. Right there. Alright, that's a good shot. And last but not least, something for the weekend. This is a documentary. The documentary itself, you can see, is 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 52 seconds. This is the most comprehensive documentary on UFOs ever produced. Reveals how we should view the growing evidence of UFO sightings, face-to-face encounters, and alleged abductions. UFO sightings by Christopher Columbus and Alexander the Great. Military pilots encounter with UFOs. Kenneth Arnold's historic sightings of UFOs over the Cascade Mountains. Recent released FBI documents on UFOs. Evidence that UFOs exist in the film footage taken by American astronauts. Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan tell of their sightings. So there you have it. That's something to check out for the weekend. In the meantime, I'm going to jump away, and I'll be back, and we shall continue on. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on. So here's an interesting story. This one just came up the other day. It's entitled, this comes to us from benswan.com. Ben Swan does a lot of great reporting. Federal government legalizes hemp. This was posted 1 day ago by Michael Lotfi. After 3 years of negotiations, the Farm Bill passed both chambers of Congress on Tuesday. Hemp wasn't necessarily one of the largely debated topics. However, hidden deep within the bill, a clause lurked that allowed for colleges and universities to grow hemp for research purposes, pending the respective states have legalized hemp. So far, Oregon, Montana, Colorado, North Dakota, California, Kentucky, Vermont, West Virginia, and Maine have legalized hemp. Also, more than a dozen states are moving pro-hemp bills through the state legislatures this season. The bill still has to be signed by Obama before becoming law. He's not expected to oppose it. 10th Amendment Center Director Michael Bolden notes that this isn't completely legal, but many states are already growing hemp regardless of the federal ban, and this move will certainly propel the movement to an unstoppable pace. Fields of hemp growing in Colorado already. Vermont legalized late summer, and multiple other states are considering bills to do the same this year, said Bolden. Credit doesn't go to the feds on this one. belongs to the states, which had the courage to stand up to the unconstitutional laws and force the change on a national level. So things are changing. That's a good thing. So pretty soon the rest of the states are going to be joining along with the ones that are already understanding that this is a cash crop. Founding fathers grew it, make clothes from it, you make food from it, you make oils from it, you make tons of things. So I think it'd be very beneficial to society, especially when we're looking to find a way to inject money back into society. This could do it. Look what happened in Colorado. One day they sold out. People in California that are doing dispensaries, they're making money hand over fist. It's a renewable product that you can do so many things with. And if we just explore those options the way our founding fathers did, if we remember, the Constitution was on hemp paper, Declaration was on hemp paper, Revolutionary soldiers wore uniforms made of hemp fiber. The flag that Betsy Ross sewed was made out of hemp. You have to grow it. It goes on and on. So it's good to see that we are looking at alternative forms of energy and healings and things like that. Now, we often hear stories about police raids, right? We're finding that they're becoming a little bit too much in people's faces. They're not knocking. They feel that they have more rights. Well, here's a situation where maybe things are changing. No knock raid. Fire away. In an astonishing ruling, a Texas grand jury declined to press capital murder charges against a man who shot and killed a law enforcement officer executing a no-knock raid on his home. A Burleson County SWAT team raided the man's home near Snook on December 19th of last year. 28-year-old Henry Gooch McGee said he shot and killed Burleson County Sheriff Adam Sowers, 31, because he thought he was being robbed and acted to protect his pregnant girlfriend and children. It's only astonishing because our society is so messed up in the head that anyone would try to argue that shooting someone who burst into your home with force unannounced is anything other than the expected consequence of an act. These sort of raids are an outrage. They are essentially never necessary save under one circumstance, when someone is holed up in a place actively holding hostages. Then there is a clean argument to be made that the balance of harm tilts towards the unannounced violent action. However, when law seeks to simply arrest someone, it is only for their convenience when they choose such a tactic. There's simply never a reason to undertake such a raid. Nobody stays in a building forever, and it is trivially easy to stick up surveillance and wait until your suspect departs a building and is disadvantaged in terms of being able to either evade or fire upon you. Only a fool or someone who wants to die turns and tries to shoot when a policeman steps in behind him and yells, "Stop, police!" Further, if the suspect decides to do so, there is plenty of time to fire, having the drop in the suspect before even seeing the weapon, or obviously aggressive action before the person can bring the weapon to bear. A little more to this reason, but anyway, last line says, if the law enforcement decides to continue this inappropriate practice anyway, well, then I advocate for continuing the pattern of returning no bill outcomes in the grand jury for those who properly conclude. All right, so it's very interesting. People are standing up. Government doesn't want people to stand up, but people are standing up, and you need to, because otherwise, what's the circumstances? A guy gets someone breaking into his, he doesn't know. Well, did they do a SWAT raid like this? Police are just overstepping their bounds, like the officers in California arrested a fireman, handcuffed him while he was on the scene of an accident because the officer didn't like the fact that the firefighter didn't move his truck. What's wrong with some of these officers? Are they not thinking? It doesn't seem like it. You need to think more, officers. Use your common sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So I found an interesting article here that I thought would be kind of fun to look at. You know how you hear the term people are afraid of sharks? Well, this one kind of puts things in perspective. Next time someone tells you to be afraid of sharks, show them this. Obesity kills 30,000 people annually. Lightning kills 10,000 people annually. Texting kills 6,000 people annually. Hippos kill 2,900 people annually. Airplanes kill 1,200 people annually. Volcanoes kill 845 people annually. Autoerotic asphyxiation kills 600 people annually. Shopping on Black Friday kills 550 people annually. Falling out of bed kills 400 people annually in the United States. Bathtubs kill 340 people annually. Deer kill 130 people annually. Icicles kill 100 people annually, just in Russia. Hot dogs kill 70 children annually. Tornadoes kill 60 people annually. Jellyfish kill 40 people annually. Dogs kill 30 people annually in the United States. Ants kill 30 people annually. High school football kills 20 people annually. Vending machines kill 13 people annually. Roller coasters kill 6 people annually. And sharks kill 5 people annually. When you look at it that way, it kind of puts things in a whole different perspective. And of course, one way to avoid getting eaten by a shark, you don't go in the ocean, because that's where the sharks are. Anyway, just something fun to look at, and for comparison purpose, onward. Now this piece here is a 6-minute piece. I'm going to play this entire video for you. It's called Spirit Over Matter. And in light of all that I've been talking about over the course of this week, this really fits into all of that. So I thought you would enjoy this. So here it is. Check it out.
As all spiritual traditions affirm, there is more to existence than the material universe. We are more than mere animals or machines. The truth is that we each have an inner core of consciousness that is immortal and originates from outside the matrix. This core, called spirit, is the origin of our free will and our sentience. It is the heart of our soul, the very fulcrum of our being. It is the only part of us that is permanent and real in an absolute sense. Spirit is the source of our wisdom and lucidity, our inner beauty and harmony, justice and mercy, kindness and warmth, compassion and understanding, integrity and nobility. These ideals are not arbitrary human inventions, but qualities intrinsic to spirit. Whenever we express these ideals, we radiate a divine influence into the world. Spirit comes from a metaphysical realm brimming with vitality, whose laws are perfect, absolute, and just. This divine realm has been called the kingdom of heaven, eternity, or true reality. It exists beyond space-time, beyond even the etheric and astral regions where the occult influences of the control system originate. The problem is that we are here, but not from here. We are intruders into the matrix. Spirit is a foreign substance that the matrix and its antibodies are trying to neutralize. Why? Because spirit represents everything that the matrix is not. It is the only thing that the matrix cannot fully control or understand. Everything else, from our egos or intellects, to our physical, etheric, and astral bodies, to human civilization itself, is well within its grasp. As dual beings, we are therefore caught between two jurisdictions, the worldly and the divine. Each has its own laws and principles. Each has its own value systems, and each has its own presiding powers. One is spiritual death, the other spiritual life. Our lives take place at the intersection between these two realms. When you look around you, or look within at the contents of your own mind and emotions, you're witnessing an overlap of these incompatible dynamics. Externally, the intersection consists of the matrix and the divine realm exerting their respective influence over the physical, etheric, and astral environment. The events in your life are a mixture of these influences. Even your physical surroundings contain both layers, as there is both ugliness and beauty, chaos and harmony, entropy and growth everywhere you look. Both exist simultaneously before your eyes. And cynics are those who see only half the picture. Through a shift in perspective, you can bring one layer into better focus. By doing so, that layer is also brought into better physical manifestation through the phenomenon of mind over matter. Because mind affects matter at the quantum level, an inner consciousness shift will create an outer physical shift. In other words, the inner and outer worlds are loosely coupled. The probability of personal life events changes in response to deep changes in your mental and emotional landscape. The more you live from your spirit instead of matrix programming, the more your external circumstances come under the jurisdiction of the divine realm. Spirit affects reality in a synchronistic way, thereby bypassing the deterministic laws of the matrix. Life literally turns around and begins pointing in a new direction, and miracles become the norm. That is how the kingdom of heaven begins manifesting on earth, one person at a time. It is done by untangling yourself from the clutches of matrix program delusions and reclaiming physicality in the name of divinity. Internally, the intersection between higher and lower is expressed as spirit and ego battling over your mental and emotional landscape. Ego is an artificial personality created when the intellect is programmed with all the rules, fears, and desires of the matrix. Everyone has an ego. It acts as an avatar through which spirit can conveniently interact with the rest of the matrix world. Your everyday sense of self comes from spirit shining through the mask of ego. But like an actor losing himself in his character, spirit can get lost in the ego, and that's when things go wrong. In that case, matrix influences drown out the voice of spirit. This is actually the norm for most people. They live life from their evolutionary instincts, hormonal drives, and ego desires and insecurities. Spirit is too faint within them to be heard, or else is entirely absent. Only when spirit grows sufficiently strong can it override the ego and transmute it. You can do this by consistently exercising your spirit instead of feeding your ego, providing you know how to distinguish between them. You must have the awareness, honesty, and humility to acknowledge when you're acting out of selfish or dishonorable motives. Those who value ego more than the truth are servants of the matrix. To make any progress, one must consistently sacrifice ego on the altar of truth. The goal of esoteric training is not to eliminate the ego entirely, though, as that would make you ineffectual as a human being, but to bring it under the control of spirit, to reprogram it with a new set of priorities. Then instead of a prison warden keeping spirit locked up within, the purified ego becomes more like a knight carrying the commands of spirit out into the world. What the matrix normally uses to subjugate spirit then becomes the means through which spirit unravels the matrix. This reversal of flow is what we're after. Spirit over mind, mind over matter. To be what the matrix is not, we must do what the followers of the matrix are not doing. Too many people have sloppy thinking and personalities shaped solely by societal expectations, fallible authority figures, biological drives, and the five senses. Therefore we must sharpen our minds, purify our personalities, and place these in service of spiritual intuition and noble ideals. Only through a higher guidance system that transcends logic and physical perception can we ever hope to exit the cages of conformity. Mind and heart, reason and intuition, intellect and spirit must work together, for each alone is not enough. That is the first and most important key to transcending the matrix control system.
All right, very nice. That's Montauk, Montalk. So the link will be available so you can check it out. Go check out his other stuff. He's got a lot of good videos. Good stuff, right? Kind of fits in line with what's been discussed and talked about this week. All right, one topic that certainly is of interest to me is eyesight. And so I look for different ways in which to be able to strengthen my eyes, and over time certainly has happened. Sun gazing is something I've been doing off and on for a while, when it's permissible or when time allows. Also, I showed you some yoga exercises for the eyes. Those are pretty good. I've been working on those. Try those. They really are good for the eyes. But here's something else that's good. This is a 2020 Eyesight, 100% free, holistic, and natural, the Bates method of vision education. So you may have heard of this one here. This is another good method. It's over 100 years now since Dr. William Bates first began developing and refining his theories of the cause of poor sight. He used his method for short sight, long sight, astigmatism, old age sight, squint, lazy eye, and even structured diseases such as macular degeneration. Nothing was left out, and he found all could be benefited by learning normal and relaxed use of the eyes and the mind. Bates had fully trained as an ophthalmologist, and in the late 1800s ran his practice as conventionally as any other. He put people in glasses and told them that there was nothing could be done about it. How he changed his opinion is to the opposite view is not fully known, but the change was absolute. The latter part of his life until his death in 1931 was punctuated by episodes of conflict between himself and his former colleagues, and many attempts were made to discredit him. Near the end of his life, he was due to appear in court, but his death curtailed the event. The people who followed in Bates' footsteps have come to his method from a different route, a new model of vision required a new approach, and almost all practitioners of the method are rarely medical people. They are educators. Technique, palming. This lesson is an introduction to the art of palming, as developed over 100 years by Dr. Bates. All the methods used in the eradication of errors of refraction, improving vision, are simply different ways of obtaining relaxation. Most people, though by no means at all, find it the easiest to relax with their eyes shut. This usually lessens the strain to see, and in such cases is followed by temporary or more lasting improvement in vision. But some light comes through the closed eyelids, and still greater degrees of relaxation can be attained in all but a few exceptional cases by excluding it. This is done by covering the closed lids with the palms of the hands, the fingers being crossed upon the forehead in such a way as to avoid pressure on the eyeballs. So efficacious is this practice, which I have called palming, as a means of relieving stress, that we all instinctively respond to it at times, and from most people are able to get a considerable degree of relaxation. The palms cover and close the eyes with your hands in such a way there is no pressure on your eyeballs. Here's how you do that. Palming is supposed to be relaxing, but you might end up being tight in your hands and your arms in order to exclude light. Don't overdo it, and if necessary, compromise. The next time you palm, you may find a better position for the hands. Palming in a darkened room can be helpful. It says, how long should I palm? It says, well, there is no fixed answer to this question. Some people enjoy palming as soon as they first try it, while a few people never find it enjoyable. As a result, there is a different answer for each person, and it can vary from day to day for the same person. It would be counterproductive to force any strict rule. Vision rebels against this. How often should I palm? If you like palming at first, try once a day. You'll be able to palm without disturbances. Make a mental note of any feelings. During the day, take short breaks. There's questions to ask yourself, how you feel when you're doing it. Then there's other techniques of sunning. This is sunning with a lamp. You close your eyes and you just allow the sunlight to warm your eyes. And use a lamp, but you can go out in the sun as well. Tells you when you do it, 3 minutes is all you need to do. But again, you're keeping your eyes closed. Okay, so there's a number of other techniques that are here that are really good for working on the eyesight, exercise, and so on. So certainly not going to be able to go over all of them. But as you can see, there's a lot. So check out that link if you're like me, if you're looking to, find ways to continually improve your eyesight. Check this out. I think you'll find it helpful, and for those who have been trying the sun gazing, I think you find that to be somewhat helpful as well. So these are all good things to do out there to get better health for the body. Now, another article that I think is good for us to be aware of is when we're working with the mind, oftentimes we have a lot of chatter, right? Trying to do your meditations and your mind is just going on. It's very overactive. A lot of times it comes from just the surroundings that are around that we're involved with on a day-to-day basis. The energies, the TVs, the radios, the people talking, on and on. Have you ever laid in bed trying to sleep while concentrating my thoughts flow through your mind? Do you perceptually think about random thoughts throughout the day? According to the law of attraction, you will receive whatever it is predominantly on your mind. If your mind is producing chaotic, non-random thoughts, this is what you will attract into your life. Even in the dream world, your predominant thoughts and worries will be reflected. We have been indoctrinated into a society that places ego and materialism above everything else. So many people end up thinking about these things and how they are being perceived by others. Our self-perception has been hijacked by the mainstream media, who portrays fictitious characters, leading to make-believe lives which many people feel they should be living. It is estimated that approximately 75% of the population are extroverts, and virtually all television programming is geared to reinforce the all-about-me persona, while deterring people to look within for answers, which is the key trait of an introvert. Carl Jung defined extroversion as an attitude type characterized by concentration of interest on the external subject, the outside world, and introversion as an attitude type characterized by orientation in life through subjective psychic contents. Focus on one's inner psychic activity. By allowing the mainstream media to influence our thoughts and perceptions, we are creating irrational thought processes based on completely fictitious ideas, premises, and images. This is why you'll never feel good after watching the nightly news, which is mainly fear-based propaganda designed to keep you in lower vibrational thought patterns. Okay? So ways you can calm it is you eliminate the clutter. What are the themes of your overactive? Many of these thoughts are related to money issues. Perhaps it's time for a change in jobs. Stop watching TV. Meditate. Remove the ego. Your body is the temple. So what you put in is very important because that affects your thoughts and what's going on with your body. Exercise. Escape time. Having fun is important. Release the need to control everything. Start a journal or dream diary. Live in the now. Connect with nature. Okay? Balance. An overactive mind is a sign of imbalance and can be corrected but one must want to see the change within themselves in order for this to occur. There is a saying, as within, so without. If your body needs rest, then so does the mind. If your mind is constantly processing activities, events, and possible scenarios, it will resist sleep by continuing this process, despite your body telling you that you are tired. This is why it is so important to listen to your body. By eliminating the clutter, you will find that in the worst case scenario, you will continue using your overactive mind in a positive way, without the fear of the need to control others. You will also have an increased sense of intuition and an easier time falling asleep, and your dreams will become more prophetic. So, it's very important. We live in a world where we need to be aware of the influence that come from the television and the media around us. It's bombarding us every day. The mainstream media is not doing you any favors. You know that. It's not doing the world any favors because it's fear-based. This war on terror is nothing more than that. It's a war to terrorize the people of the world because it's always worried about the next bad event that's going to go on. What is the next bad thing? Now we got the Olympics, and so it's all the concern about that. Now they can't have toothpaste, and it's just ridiculous. It's fear that is so overblown that we're getting crazy about it. How many times have people gone to the airport? You get on a bus to take the bus to the airport. You get on the bus with a whole bunch of people who have their luggage with them, and you drive safely to the airport. And you get to the airport, and then to get from that point and to the bus to where your plane is, you've got to go through a whole rigmarole with security. But there's no problem on the bus. Nobody blew up the bus. Nobody threatened the bus. But you get to that airport point, boy, you got all this fear that's there. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary that we have so much fear in the world. But this is what is being put out by the powers that be because it keeps you on edge. But you can eliminate that fear because all that fear is just clutter. It's clutter in the mind that's getting in the way. It's something that affects the ego. So all of the stuff that's been talked about today in this show has been showing you how we get rid of that. Get rid of all that clutter. We don't look at all the negativity. We understand it's there. You don't need to know that a politician is lying today. We don't need to go over the details of the lie because we know that politicians lie. I don't need to tell you that the news media is lying and go over all the little details because we know that they're not honest. So rather than continuing to look at all of these things we know are negative and we know are fear-based, the idea is to look at the positive. Be aware of that. But we look at the positive so we can make a change. Let's get rid of the clutter. Let's do the change. Because as much as there's the powers that be that are out there that we hear are trying to do all these negative things in the world, I truly believe that there are enough good people in the world that are putting out enough love and good vibes that we're able to hold off all of those bad things. And this has been the case throughout time. And all we have to do is keep that up, because there's more of us than there are of them. And when we put out so many good vibes, we'll just overwhelm them. They won't be able to do anything other than to join the good vibe bandwagon. And that's it. So we just got to keep, and we do it one person at a time. Going inside, fixing us first. because society is not promoting those things. So we need to go and promote them ourselves. If we look around in the world, we see plenty of sites and places where you can go that does promote and talk about this. But it's not what you're hearing from the mainstream. So we need to look at the sources, find the things that are going to help us, and really accentuate those a little bit more so other people know about them. The more people know about all this good stuff, the better we're going to be, right? Because we are all in this together. All right, this is a message from the High Council of Orion. Here we go.
What are the activations? Channeled Ascension message from the High Council of Orion.
February 2nd, 2014. Channeled by Holly Hawkins Marwood, transcribed by Paul Marwood, the Council.
Greetings, dear ones. We are the High Council of Orion. Our message today is that of the activations. Some of you may be aware of the activations and some of you may be hearing about them for the first time, but they are an important aspect of your transformation and your moving forward at this point in your evolution as a human, if you resonate with the idea of these. We have been sharing the beginning activations, of which there are many. We want to explain to you how they work and why we are bringing them forward at this time. The activations are an infusion of energy into your physical and energetic beings in a way that you have not had before. On an energetic level the activations, are composed of energy pathways that are in the shape of geometry, specifically sacred geometry. As this energetic, sacred geometric structure is put into place energetically within your system, on all levels, it allows energy from your planetary system and from the universal matrix of energy to begin flowing through you in a new alignment relative to the geometry of the shape. When you combine the light flowing through this sacred geometric structure, and its interaction with your physicality on all levels, we will say it is more of an interaction with your humanity, for it includes your physical experience and all the energetic, unseen, less tangible experiences. When this sacred geometric structure is infused into who you currently are and, the light, the energy of the universe begins to flow through you and interact differently with you because of this sacred geometric shape, you step into a new level of alignment with who you are and who you want to be. Each activation has different geometry to it. With each activation its interaction with you shifts you in a different yet specific way. The 111 activation trademark is the first activation we brought through. As one is infused with the energetics of the specific geometry within the 111 activation, it allows who you are, at all of your levels, to come into a new level of soul alignment. Now, what does that mean? What it means that you begin to experience your life in a clearer, more aligned way, allowing your soul to more authentically express its voice into your life. It allows the truth of who you are to be less encumbered by outside influences. How that energetic system, working in concert with your soul-level guidance manifests will be unique to each one of you, but we would say that as you experience the shift in your energetic as you move forward with this energetic in place within your system, you will find new levels of clarity. You'll feel alignment to your truth. You, in a sense, feel more comfortable with who you are and where you are in your ability to express that in your life. The expression can be through how you verbally express yourself through your words, through your writing, through your typing. It's how you express yourself in your beingness and the choices you make. These activations, of which there are several brought through, and many, many more to come, they're infusing you with a new form of sacred geometry that allows new pathways of the universal light that's always around you, in your planet and in your universe to flow through your energetic systems differently, allowing you to more easily connect with the progress that you are looking for in your soul's life, in your human life. Each one of these activations moves you in a unique way further and further along. In future messages we will share information about other activations. Be blessed. We are the High Council of Orion.
All right, nice message. See, there's just continuous confirmations that there's these good things taking place around us. And if we just get caught up in the fear and we don't look at these things, then we're going to miss the opportunities to really get on board with all of these positive energies, these shifts that have taken place. Remember, the shift we've gone through has been very subtle. We crossed the ecliptic. We've come around full circle energetically. Our planet is moving into a different place. There are different energetics taking place. There are circumstances from the past that have come full circle. And there's a lot of fear trying to keep people from understanding that. Because those who are trying to keep people in fear, if we really look at what they're doing, we understand that they're doing a lot of things that are out of integrity. So we need to just disregard that, just keep doing things right, doing things with love, and perhaps we change them. We change them so that they change. Because again, there's more of us that want good things in the world. So let's, the more of us, just keep putting those vibes out. Pretty soon, those who are causing the problems can't do anything but change to be doing good things. Seems pretty simple. Starts up with the mind and we bring the energy down. Spirit over matter. Okay? All right, let's jump into our meditation for today. There we go. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And contemplate the words of today's affirmation. I move beyond forgiveness and understanding. And I have compassion and kindness for myself and others. I move beyond forgiveness to understanding. And I have compassion and kindness for myself and others. And see ourselves at this place of forgiveness. And understanding forgiveness. And then see ourselves moving past that idea of this forgiveness. To begin to understand. And as we begin to understand the situations at hand with others, we begin to have compassion for the situations. Because we begin to understand how people are acting and what is motivating them. And oftentimes people are motivated in doing things because of what is personally affecting them. And has nothing to do with you or with others. So as we come to understand this, we realize that there's nothing to forgive because their actions are not extending out towards us, just trying to get clarity within themselves. And in that understanding, we have compassion for their journey, compassion for their search. And as such, we understand that the universe extends compassion to us for our search as well. And with that compassion comes kindness. So we act and treat others kindly along the path, and we see others treating others kindly. And it becomes contagious. And one by one we see people treating each other kindly along the path. Talking to each other, helping each other, laughing, smiling, having a good time. And we imagine that we're walking along and we look out and we see a bunch of those members of the powers that be that are causing problems in the world. So we imagine like we're superheroes in the comics, and we imagine sending these positive vibes from our mind, and we see these vibrations hitting the powers that be trying to do these bad things. And we see these vibrations of positivity hit them. And they stand in shock as the waves of positivity wash over them. And then we see them change. They stop doing the bad things. And they begin doing good. And as we see them make this change, we realize that we can do this. Each and every day, change those around us just by putting out positive vibes into the world. So let's just imagine putting out positive vibes into the world today. Over the course of this weekend, and having compassion and kindness and patience with each one as we go into this Mercury retrograde phase. So let us be clear-minded as we get rid of the clutter. Let us allow our spirit to nurture our ego so that it is healthy and works in proper accord with spirit. And let this love feeling vibrate from your heart outward through your body. See the color green, and then just see this love vibrating outward into your environment and expanding all around the world and back again. And imagine others doing the same thing and feeling the world bathed in this love. And let's just imagine this love going out into the cosmos so the space brothers and sisters see and feel. And imagine sending it down deep into the earth so all of those beings who are down within the earthly realms feel this love as well. And amidst all of this, just feel that the great creator of life is smiling down, smiling upon us, because all is good. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Amen. Take another deep breath. Exhale and let all the clutter go as you exhale. Imagine yourself on this journey sending out positive vibes. Let your subconscious mind continue on that journey. And let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale and open your eyes. There you go, my friends. Thank you very much for being here this week. Check out the shows. Check out the links. There's videos for you to watch over the weekend. Lots of stuff for you to read. Thanks for being here. Appreciate all your comments, all your emails. Keep them coming. I enjoy reading and hearing what you have to say. Have an awesome weekend, and I'll be back on Monday. And we'll continue on from there. Be safe. Lots of love and light to each one of you. Peace. I'm out of here.